Greetings everyone, welcome back to my sketchbook. I've made a commitment that every Monday in September I'm going to make it Minecraft Monday. So I don't think I've actually drawn a picture of this, which is the bee, which I actually think is kind of a pretty interesting toy from McDonald's. So I'm going to set that there. And I'm not going to make it exactly the same because that's not what I do anyway, but let's see if we can quickly draw this. I'm going to start by kind of making a book shape, which would be kind of like a couple of diamonds. Try to keep it kind of like each side is meant to be together, same size roughly. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to make a cube and show kind of like three sides. So this is the top, let's say this is the front, that's the side over there. That's the rough shape of the cube. This is where things is going to get a little bit complicated. I want there to be wings. And the angle that I'm going in on is kind of going to be based on that side, but not perfectly. So, and the other wing on this side over here. Kind of that angle there. I'm going to keep that angle there. This is where we're going to get a little more complicated. I'm just going to put a notch here, and I'm going to make it seem as if I'm trying to, well, I am trying to make it kind of Minecraft related, but not perfectly because we're doing this quick. All right, something like that. And I'll kind of quickly do that. And I believe we'll have one kind of like that there. Same on this side. Do kind of a notch. Make some fun little doodads. Try to remember patterns if I can. Doesn't always work out that way. Doesn't have to either, that's the fun part. If you're going for precision, that's cool. It doesn't have to be precise, at least not for me anyway. Guess I could have gone that way too. Not a big deal. All right, so I'm going to do a kind of a quick, I'm going to go out that way. Yeah. Pretend that those wings are flapping. So I think the wings are probably the most complicated part of the bee for this drawing. Do outline of that. And it's just a doodle anyway. Let's go with the eyes next. I'm going to make this bee kind of angry looking. So I'm going to tilt the eyebrows in. It's going to be angled up a little bit. You can make a happy bee or a sad bee if you wish. Bees are awesome. Something like that. I'm going to go for a really steep antenna. Some sort of, yes. And they're kind of flat too, right? Just like the wings. I'll fill these in very quickly. Just like that. Fill in the eyes. So yes, I don't know how many of you are allergic to bees. I'm not allergic to bees. I know people that have to carry an EpiPen around with them. So it's pretty serious. Next, let's go with putting in some stripes, and the one on the bottom here I'm going to make a little bit wider than the rest. Stripes are the funnest part of the bee, I think. Slightly narrower for me. Last stripe. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Tomorrow I have an idea because I watched an animation that yeah, it was a little strange and wonderful all at the same time. So come back tomorrow. We'll see what we can do in relation to that. Now I'm going to do some little legs underneath here, and I'm going to first put them in kind of as quick little lines like this. But I'm going to make kind of like almost like mud flaps. So I'm going to angle these in and then fill them in, angle them in, fill them in. So they're mostly going to be hidden underneath the body here anyway. I don't know if that's a detail you can see. Last, got to add some color and then we'll finish this up. So, yellow is important to a bee, isn't it? I think so. I don't believe they show up in any other color. By tradition, with most of us humans, we see yellow as a caution. Now, I don't know if that's related to a bee. That'd be funny if it was. I just sort of thought of that now. But for the most part, if you're driving, if you're approaching an intersection and the light turns yellow, that usually means be cautious. Because, my goodness, someone could be careless on the other side. Doesn't mean just go for it. Clear the intersection, I suppose, would be the way that you should do it. I'm going to go with a kind of, let's say, a muddy-ish kind of pink for the eyebrows. I don't think this was too complicated. As I said, probably the most complicated thing is the wings, but do that as you see fit. There you go. That's the bee as I could come up with it from Minecraft. Now, I could probably stand to fill in some of this a little bit better, but I think you get the idea, right? When you're just doodling around in your sketchbook, you don't have to have pure precision. Sometimes you're better off just getting the idea out, and then you can, you know, make different expressions and stuff like that. So anyway, folks, I think that's it. I don't need to go any more than that. It's not exactly the same as the McDonald's toy. It's a little more like the Minecraft one, I suppose. So anyway, ciao for now.